In this video, we'll go through the basics of logging in and out of the DiSC RTC and answering calls, putting it on hold, etc. So when you are at your station, make sure your headset is in and ready to go. You also want to log into iCabby with the extension number that is assigned to you. Once everything is ready, you want to launch Chrome, and the DiSC RTC is basically a Chrome extension. So it will appear somewhere in your toolbar. It's some kind of hard to see at times depending on what your color scheme is and whatnot. But you would click on that. That will launch the DiSC RTC. This is the main window for the DiSC RTC. Over here you'll have your name once you log in. You'll have the queue that you're logged into. This is the button for logging in, log out, and as you can see, if you hover over the buttons, it'll tell you what the button is for. So this is your login and log out button. This is your queue in and queue out button. This is the pause and on pause button. And this is the voicemail, which is not available to all users. The window is resizable, as you can see. You can close it all the way down if you want, or open it up to see some other features. In this top window, you would see all the agents that are logged in, and there are symbols and colors that designate what state each user is in. The next panel are the calls that are queued in the system. So if there are no calls, obviously nothing is here. If multiple calls are in the system and ready, waiting to be answered, they'll all be listed here. So for example, when you're super busy, you're going to see a whole bunch of calls that are queued. And the last one is parked calls. A parked call is a call that you place on hold, and you can basically tell another agent, for example, to grab that call if you want to. Because if you were to just simply put it on hold, no other agent can grab that line. So you would need to park that and or actually transfer it to a different agent. Next area is this little triangle opens up your dial pad, which is obviously your phone dialing pad, and you can either use this pad to dial numbers and or you can use your computer keyboard to do so. Next one is obviously call. If you're making an outbound call, you would dial the number, press call, and you would make that outbound call. The last two we're not going to get into right now. They're basically you have ability to handle multiple lines at the same time, but that's a little more complex. We'll get into that later if necessary. So and then last thing is this time symbol, which is your call history basically. So you can see all the numbers that I've called, and you can actually click on a number that's listed here, and you would be connected to that number. So the first thing you want to do is when you come in is you want to log in. So you press the L for login, and you will listen to what the prompt says.
Please enter your agent number followed by the hash key.
So it's asking for you to enter your agent number and enter the hash key.
Please enter your agent number followed by the hash key.
And you hear that beep, and it's important to wait till that beep until you hear that
Please
beep before you
enter
try
your
to log
agent
in.
number followed by the hash key.
So in this case, we're going to use a test agent, which is 120.
120. Thank you. You are now logged in.
Okay, so as you heard, it says thank you, you're now logged in. You can see your name here. In this case, it just says test. And here on the right side, you will see that now you're showing up as an agent. So for example, in this case, you're having a triangle next to your name. That's because you're logged in, but you're not actually in any queue. So you will not receive any calls at this point because you're not in any queue. You could make outbound calls, for example, but that's not the state that you want to normally be in. So as soon as you log in, once you're ready to take calls, you go ahead and press the queue button.
User 120 is now queued in.
So now you're queued in automatically. So you don't choose what queue to go in. That's a decision that's made by the system. So you are a member of certain queues, and as you log in, it automatically adds you to those queues. In our case, for example, the 500 is the reservation queue and the 502 is the courier queue. The reason, so most of you will be member of both queues, because if the courier person is not available, it will ring through to the reservation agents, which is the way we do it in this company. So so you could get a call that could be a reservation call, normal Sunshine Taxi, Sunshine Rides call, or it can be a courier call. And you will know what kind of call is coming in, because in this area you will see a label saying booking and or a courier. So basically at this point you're ready to receive a call. So we'll go ahead and make a call.
Thank you for calling Sunshine Rides.
As you can see, I'm basically in queue waiting for someone to answer. So you'll see call waiting 1, and that's the queue position, and you'll see my incoming number. Now we'll be using a round robin system, so basically this call will ring on your extension for about 10 seconds, and then it will go to the next station. In this case, we're the only one logged in, so it's just going to continuously going to be ringing back at our case. If for some reason you want to decline, you can decline and it will go to the next person, but again in this case we're the only person logged in. So we'll go ahead and answer, and at this point you're basically on the call, as you can hear the echo here. So you would deal with this call. You'd basically be talking to the person, and we'll discuss how when answering a call, your call will populate the iCabby booking screen with the phone number that's coming in. But otherwise, you're basically obviously talking on the phone as per normal, and if you're ready to, you can put somebody on hold if you want. If you put them on hold, they will be hearing this lovely background music. If you're ready to take them off hold, you just simply click the on hold button. So now you're back speaking to that person. As I said, you can go ahead and park a call, and when you do that, you'll hear
Trans 701.
And that call will be parked. We're actually not sure why this is not showing up. Normally it should be showing here the call that you parked, and anybody else can see that as well and click on it and grab that call if necessary. So once you're so we need to get that call back actually. Otherwise, once you're done with the call, you press end call and you're finished. You're available again. Now if you need to step away from your desk, you need to pause your station, because you don't want your station to be ringing while you're away from your station. Just so you know, also all these things are now recorded and tabulated. So if you were to not pause yourself, you will be basically missing calls, and that we'll see a report with such and such extension having missed a certain number of calls, and we would have to find out why that is. So what you want to do always is, if you step away from your desk, you want to press the P for pause, and then you're asked to pick a reason for your pause. For example, it could be a short break, working after a call, meaning you're trying to figure out something about the call, smoke break, etc. And we will customize this to better match exactly what we need. Let's say that I'm going on a short break. I press short break, and now you'll see that it'll say paused here. When I'm back to my station, I simply click on P again, and I'm back to idle status and waiting for the next call to come in. When you are, and also, okay, so here's another thing. You can make outbound calls, obviously, by dialing the number on this pad, or again, using your keyboard pad to dial a number. If we have the number already stored, and this is something we can build up in our database. So let's say you want to call Eddie. I can just type in Eddie, and you'll see that number comes up, I can click on it, and the number is there, and I'll just press on call, and out it goes. Of course, I'm gonna not call him, so we'll end that call. So that's about it for answering a call, putting it on pause, parking it, and basically when you're done with your shift and you want to log out, it's important that, so when you come in, remember that you log in and then queue in, and when you're finished you need to do the opposite. So you can't log out if you're still queued in. So if I try to log out,
User 120 is already queued in. You must queue out before you can log out of your phone.
okay, so as you heard, it's going to tell you that you need to queue out. So press Q.
User 120 is now queued out.
Okay, so once you're queued out, I can now go ahead and log out.
User 120 is already logged into this phone. Press 1 to log out.
So you're always going to hear the fact that you're already logged in. So you're going to go ahead and press 1.
User 120 has been logged out.
And now you're out of the system. It seems to be kind of a bug in that it doesn't seem to refresh. I don't know if it's just a matter of time before this disappears or not. But regardless, if you are done, once you're logged out, you want to go ahead and close the window. However, it's really important to remember that you do need to actually log out. If you were to simply close this window without logging out, the system still considers you as being in, and it will try to send calls to you. So you basically will get a whole bunch of missed calls tabulated on your extension, which is not good. So you gotta make sure that you queue out and log out before you go ahead and actually close this window.